and welcome to our special show, Bharat Trailblazers, a series where we bring you insightful and engaging conversations with enterprises and their business leaders talking about their digital transformation journey and how it has helped their business. Today, we're going to put the spotlight on Lithium Urban Technologies, which is reshaping India's urban transportation landscape with its electric mobility solutions. Sanjay, thanks very much for having us here in your office. If you could start by telling us about Lithium's journey, how it started, where it came to be, and what would you say have been some of your key achievements so far?
We started way back in 2014 before EVs were the buzzword. Today we are roughly 2,500 vehicles, 1,700 chargers across 15 cities in India. We serve 100 plus clients in the B2B space. In addition, we've started a supply agreement with a strategic partnership with Uber in helping them decarbonize the urban mobility space. So this is where we are. I think we're very proud to have been pioneers and to be where we are today.
But what would you say sets you apart from your competitors? Because let's admit it, it is a competitive space and every other player in the mobility space wants to go green. How are you differentiating yourself?
I think essentially anyone can buy. You're right? Anyone can buy an electric car. And many people have bought electric cars in the past, especially the business consumers. And the way we are different is we can utilize an electric vehicle better and provide better services at a cheaper rate to our customers. And how do we do that? We do that using technology. Technology is the bedrock of everything that we do. So whether it's a connected car, whether it's algorithms that allow us to schedule our vehicles better, saying which car should charge and which charger for how long, whether it's recruitment of drivers, whether it's maintenance of cars. The three pillars of our business: customer, driver and vehicle, all three interplay and connecting that through technology, and that's what I think we do better than anybody else in this space, and that allows us to provide some unmatchable value to our customer.
Well, let's talk about that technology because like you said, it is the bedrock of everything that's happening at Lithium. But there's also emerging trends in this space, and it's, as any other company that has to remain agile, you have to adapt yourself to it. So how are you at Lithium pivoting to adapt to these trends, and what are these emerging trends that you're seeing shaping up in this space?
I think digital transformation per se is absolutely key. I mean, right from day one, we realized that it is technology that's going to be a differentiator. Like I said, there are three pillars: customer, vehicle and driver. And obviously with new technologies coming in like AI and ML, how do we use this data, vast amount of data, right? We poll our cars, for example, every 5 seconds. We get 150 parameters from that. Then we get the entire life cycle of a driver, life cycle of a vehicle, the amount of information that comes in. How do you make it kind of interact with each other? How do you ensure causality is there? How do you ensure end user computing? This is the age in which coder is not the king, but the end user is the king, right? And companies like Salesforce have enabled that, right? And therefore for us, using this vast amount of structured data with AI and ML, for us to be able to predict, right, across different facets of our business, I think that is something that we pride ourselves.
For our viewers that may be benefiting from your journey, tell us how you undertook this digital transformation journey and what were some of the business objectives for a company that is based on tech?
I would say, with respect to customers, from our sales process, how do we kind of reduce the sales time? How do we provide, post our sales, how do we provide, better service levels, right? Two, from a driver perspective, how do we make sure that there is complete transparency? From a vehicle management perspective, how do we make sure that lead times are compressed, availability, reliability, performance of the assets is improved. And of course, as an enterprise, most importantly, how can we actually provide a single source of truth and data and allow and empower every employee in the company, regardless of where they stand in the hierarchy, with the power to delve into the data, improve not only their performance, but that of the team, but also the enterprise.
Well, you talked about people, and the idea is really to talk about how you're empowering, not just one set of people, but the whole ecosystem of partners that you work with.
Correct.
Just give us some insights on that.
So let me give you an example. That's a very pertinent question. On a vehicle maintenance side, right? All these assets are owned by us. Vehicles make or break your business, in terms of availability, performance, and reliability. For this, we are dependent on the OEMs. That's the people who make the vehicles, and of course, their service partners. So there's an extended enterprise. What we've done is use Salesforce as a workflow platform. So now we provide not only our various teams, whether it's maintenance, accounts, our operations, but also outside of the enterprise. So the OEM representatives, we have the various service centers across India that have now access to that, different dashboards, so that this, if a vehicle requires 100 hours for it to be made okay, then it must take only 100 hours, right? All of this waiting lead time and this, I would say, this latency in decision making has been reduced because everyone now has access to the same information. And therefore it elicits absolutely coherent and very actions in the same direction.
Well, let me get specific to one of your partners, and that is the drivers, very core to what you do here at providing transportation for urban Indians. Tell us about the management for that set of your partners, and how you're using technology to deliver better outcomes.
So driver is I would say the most important pillar in this business. Without the driver, we don't have a business per se, right? And labor markets are different in different parts of India. But driver as a person or as a vignette is very, very unique. What does the driver want? Wants transparency in dealings, right? So right from if you look at recruitment process, we have field scouts that will go out. We have telecallers who call drivers in, tell them about proposition, why lithium is the best place for them to join, and all of that. Drivers come in, walk in, then there's an empanelment process. There's a lot of documentation and compliance management that needs to be done. And of course, once the driver comes on board, the entire process of managing the payouts, the driver being able to see their own earnings, right? That is very, very key. And then of course, driving up the performance, making them sure that what do they need to do to earn more, right? That whole process from scouting to payrolling, to exit, that whole process, and attrition management, everything is managed on a digital platform.
From your sales to your fleet management, technology is what you're using to streamline the entire process.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, on sales, as a B2B sales company, we have different stage gates, right from prospects to contracting. That entire process is managed on a technology platform, that is Salesforce. Like I said, on vehicles, every time we buy a vehicle, from there to every transaction on the vehicle, including its telematics, everything is available on Salesforce. On the customer side, like I said, post contracting as well. The interactions with the customer, how are we delivering? We promise certain value when we sign the contract. Are we delivering to that? That is managed. Of course, I told you of the driver, vehicle, and customer. I think the entire process and all of this data, then we use something like Tableau, which sits on top of that, so that the end user, for example, can find out the 5 whys.
Tell us about Tableau. I mean, what is the system that you're using, and how have you benefited from it?
I think for us, finding out causality and finding out reasons why things could be better than what they are today, drilling down into what caused a certain issue, and that is very essential. In the past, all analytics used to lie with, for example, a set of people in MIS department or a data department. But what we've done is users today, right, with the ease with which people can create dashboards to monitor their own performance, their team, etc., etc. I mean, there are some fantastic examples of how people have learned with ease these tools and are now creating for themselves different aspects. And that agility in which workflow processes can be changed, data can be viewed and analyzed, doesn't require a specific skill set, but that's kind of democratized across the organization. And people with master's degrees, people with 10th standard level education are able to do that, and that I think is the beauty and simplicity with which technology is built.
Well, let me just take that further and ask you, for a business like you who's looking to undertake digital transformation, would you be able to quantify the benefits that you saw from it, so that we can put into words how this transformation can actually help businesses?
Sure. I think whether it is about a 20% reduction in our sales lead time, 3x increase in our funnel size. I mean, it's obvious from the way that we've grown. After post-COVID. COVID was a bad time for urban mobility, per se, but since COVID, we've grown roughly 8x, right? Okay. And the testament to that growth, right? And that requires everything from better vehicle management. It requires, your ability to hire more drivers and retain them, and of course, managing customers. We had 25 customers just when COVID ended in 22. Now we have 100. We were in 5 cities, we are now in 15, right? And from a business perspective, whether it is our margins per car, revenue per car, we're able to sweat the asset much better, right? Retain more drivers. And all of our operational fill rates are much better than what we are today.
Would you be able to put numbers to some of these metrics?
Sure. So like I said, sales has grown 8x, revenue per car has grown, I would say, 50%, right? Driver fill rates are now, are 99%, right? So I think from that perspective, these are metrics. I think vehicle health, availability, we have roughly about 91% availability across, a 2-year spectrum. So I think we're in a fairly good state. Every company requires a backbone on which the company works on, right? And a single source of truth, right? And for us, we started our journey with Salesforce with just sales, right? Typical sales process, blah, 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 put it all in together. Then we realized, why can't we use it for the other 2 pillars, right? Both the drivers as well as our vehicles. And we've done that across, and like I told you before, we've gone beyond the enterprise, right? And for us, therefore, it's helped us systemize and give a standard SOP as we grow. Imagine starting in a new city, how do you get people then to kind of do the same things in the same way that the other cities do? So all of these technologies allow us to scale quicker, and that's very, very important.
Okay, let me then end by asking you, how do you see the next, say, 10 years or so shaping up for lithium? What do you think that you're doing differently using technology that's going to help you stay ahead in this game?
I think we are now moving into a realm in which we see ourselves as, obviously we've been pioneers, but really moving there one step ahead, in which we're going to see more drivers adopt EVs. We're going to work with small fleet owners in transforming their fleet from ICE to EVs. So really being the catalyst in converting the current 99% of the market that works on ICE fleet into EV. And how do we use technology? We use whatever we have built for ourselves, offer it to them. So therefore, from that perspective, I think if we can help the entire, 1 million vehicles convert to electric, and all of the software and tools are available for everybody, I think that will be true transformation. That's in the years to come.
And we wish you all the very best with it, Sanjay. Thanks very much for speaking to CNBC TV 18.